It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Dog. I am happy that you are hanging out with me today on a Thursday. Y'all, it is the Thursday before Halloween. It's getting close. And for the past couple of weeks, I have been trying my hardest to solicit some great suggestions from a lot of folks about which pieces should I include on the channel that really lift up this time of year and lift up Halloween specifically. And I got a bunch of suggestions, and I got to tell you, it's been quite difficult to make a selection for this topic because there's a whole bunch of stuff. But I got to tell you, I'm not really into scary things. I'm not really into horror movies. I never have, and I never really have listened to much of the soundtracks to those sorts of art either. So the piece that I've picked today, you may think that it's off a little bit off the beaten path, but I think it really nails home the underlying themes of this holiday. The song that I have picked today is called Gravedigger, and it is by Dave Matthews. So Halloween, it comes from All Hallows Eve, right? It is connected to All Saints Day, which is a day in the yearly life of the Christian church where we lift up those who have died in our own personal lives and in the life of our communities within the past year. And the night before, is All Hallows Eve, and some mystical and scary stuff starts to happen on All Hallows Eve, right? So in general, this is a time of year where we start really contemplating our own mortality. I mean, think about it. We're in late October in the Northern Hemisphere. The days are getting shorter. The nights are getting longer, right? And the temperatures outside are getting colder. The leaves are turning, odd shades of weird and exquisite colors, and then fall off of the trees. And we start to ponder our own existence, our own mortality, what things we accomplished in the last year and where we fell short, and those sorts of ideas, right? It's quite internal as well. And so this Gravedigger song by Dave Matthews speaks on this particular issue. This is a song that Dave wrote for his first solo album called Some Devil. It was released in 2003, won him a Grammy the next year. And when the song came out, he said this in an interview, I believe on MTV. He said, "It's kind of these different stories that are brought together by walking through a graveyard with their names and the dates of their births and their deaths and the stories that come out of their lives. It's sort of just telling those stories and some others as you wander through a graveyard, and what you might think if you could walk into the graves and find out what people went through to get there." It's a fascinating point of view for a song, right? He's in a graveyard, he's looking at the headstones, and he sees, in this particular song, he sees the names of three different ordinary people. Cyrus Jones, Muriel Stonewall, and little Mikey Carson. And he sees the years on their headstones, and he wonders what their stories are. It's a really interesting way to build a song. So we're going to listen to two different versions of this today. We're going to listen to Dave and Tim Reynolds, guitar player Tim Reynolds, doing an acoustic duo of this in 2007 at Radio City Music Hall. And then we're going to dive into Willie Nelson doing a cover of it in 2008. Can't wait. So let's get to it. Here's Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds doing this at Radio City back in 2007. Here we go.
But back to the show, and I love you for listening to me. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Dave. They're in A minor, and it's a haunting, most of the time, a descending progression, right? So they're in A.
Cyrus Jones,
Down step to G.
1913.
Down step to F. Flat 6.
His great-grandchildren believe
Back to
you
1.
could live to 103. 103 is forever
Down to
when
G
you're
again.
just a little kid. So Cyrus Jones live forever.
When they get to the chorus, it's A, then G, then it goes to E,
Could you make it shallow so that I
and
can feel
G,
the rain?
D over F sharp.
Gravedigger. Muriel Stonewall, 1903 to 1954. She lost both of her babies in the Second Great War. Now you should never have to watch as your
And
only
it's just a
children
basic
are lowered
bio
to the ground.
of these
I mean,
ordinary
never have
lives.
to bury your
And you're
own
trying to figure out
baby.
what made them tick,
Gravedigger.
what their story is.
When you dig
And when you talk to the gravedigger,
you make it shallow.
you want him to make your grave shallow
so that I can feel the rain.
so that you can still feel connected to the life that is continuing, up on the surface.
Ring around the rosy.
This is a little bridge section. Goes to some different chords,
Pocket full of posy.
but it sort of calls out how we are all connected. We all play games with each other, but in the end, ashes to ashes.
We all fall down. Gravedigger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? Oh, gravedigger. Little Mikey Carson, 67 to 75, he rode his bike like the devil until the day he died. When he grows up, he wants to be Mr. Vertigo on the flying trapeze.
And Mr. Vertigo,
1940
to 1992, another gravestone.
Gravedigger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? Oh, gravedigger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? I can feel the rain, I can feel the rain. Gravedigger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? Gravedigger.
Always loved Dave's voice. And you get this little lament at the end. Descending bass line. Oh, and then they end on flat 6 for that one. Very cool. Wonderful stuff. I'm going to stop that one there.
Thank you.
And I'm going to switch gears and pull up the video to Willie Nelson's version of it. Willie Nelson, an American institution. Good old Willie. Let's see what he has to say on this subject. So obviously not acoustic. Got some drums.
Cyrus Jones from 1810 to 1913.
Same key.
His great-grandchildren believe you could live to 103.
It's an A minor chord.
103 is forever. When
He started on the
you're just
4th
a
of
kid.
that chord. Just singing a non-chord tone.
Cyrus Jones live forever. Gravedigger, when you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so I can feel the rain?
I read that this album that Willie Nelson recorded this for in 2008, Moment of Forever, is his 56th album, y'all. What a career.
She lost both of her babies in the Second Great War.
And you have that kind of career when you can connect and deliver a lyric and be believable. Willie is great at that. So this is a perfect song for him to cover. Gravedigger in this song is a metaphor for death itself,
We all
right?
fall down,
It's a prayer.
Gravedigger.
It's a desire
When you dig my grave,
to
can you make
continue
it
to be in the
shallow?
know, right? We don't want to lose our memories. We don't want to lose our consciousness,
Gravedigger.
right? Messes with your mind.
Little Mikey Carson, 67 to 75. He rode his bike like the
Gosh, he was
devil
only like 7
until
or
the day he
8
died.
years old when he died.
And when he grows up, he wants to be Mr. Vertigo on the flying trapeze. Oh, 1940 to 1992. Gravedigger. When you dig my grave, would you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? Gravedigger. When you dig my grave, could you make it shallow so that I can feel the rain? Gravedigger.
Oh, there's that same lament at the end. Pretty straightforward cover of this song. He didn't change the meter. He didn't change the key. Just a nice cover version of this song. Wonderful stuff from Willie Nelson. I've been a longtime fan of Willie Nelson. I mean, how can you not? He's just an American institution. But y'all, this is what I'm talking about here, right? Halloween in the secular sort of sense in America, and I think in other places around the world, is a chance to let your hair down, to dress up, to kind of separate yourself from reality a bit, to play, and to sort of make fun of the macabre and these mortality issues that are in the back of our minds. This song takes it on head on, and that tends to be where my perspective tends to go. I'd rather get to the heart of something and dive into the psyche of it rather than go to the playing surface. It's just my personality. So this song has always really just grabbed me, and I think it takes on a completely different perspective when you have someone of Willie's age singing it versus somebody like Dave Matthews. But Dave's been a favorite of mine for many, many years. I came of age in high school and college when the Dave Matthews Band sort of came on the scene, and I've really gravitated to their music for a long time. I've been to several of his shows, and I've even heard this song live a couple of times, and it always is a very poignant and powerful part of a live show. Gravedigger. When you dig my grave, make it shallow so that I can feel the rain. It's a wonderful, wonderful lyric, and I am pleased to have included it on the channel this week, especially at this time of year. I hope you enjoyed that little jaunt into this song, and yeah, great stuff. I will see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.